Hello, this is the second video in the series to explain how to use the Taming Bigfoot carbon footprint calculator, continuing to walk through the various capabilities. And we're going to start by logging in. If you watched the first video in the series, you know how to register and to set some household size and your name parameters. And so we're just going to log in under my account, and it takes you directly to the My Data page. This is the My Data page, and we're going to discuss the various features of this page, show you how to enter data, and show you how to edit that data. And then with later videos, we'll talk about how to explore the data. But we'll spend almost the entire video on this My Data page. And you'll see that there is a lot of data already entered. I use this tool almost every day. At the end of the day, I put in what my activity was, if there was any. And every week I put in my propane usage to heat the home. And it's quite, it's useful to do it that way, but feel free to use it however you like. So if you have new data to enter, you hit Add New Data, click on that, and you get the Add New Data page. There are 4 different categories: home energy, transportation, food, and shopping. Home energy is in whatever form: electricity, natural gas, heating oil, propane, wood, and also water, and also non-recycled garbage. But each of these pages starts with the date. It will automatically fill in the current date. If you're putting in data for an earlier time, you can change that date. And it also reflects the household size that you set in the settings when you first registered. And then you put in the appropriate data. It's very important to put it in terms of the units for each of these different types, but you only need to fill in those boxes for which you have data. You don't have to fill in zeros for everything else. So I heat my home with propane. Last week I used about 30 gallons of propane. So that's what I put in there, and I didn't take any garbage out to the landfill, to the recycling center, and I'm on a well, so my water use is actually reflected in my electricity that I record every so often. But I also had some transportation. I carpooled with somebody. We went 50 miles. So under carpooling, I will put 50 miles. There were 2 of us in the car, and the car gets 30 miles per gallon, not 25. So I input that. And let's say I had 1 dinner of beef, but I had a large serving, so maybe it was 6 ounces of beef, so that's 1.5 servings, 4-ounce servings. And I also had a turkey dinner that was more modest, just 1 of those. And I went to the store and I bought some food, and I spent $50 on food, and only 10% of that was locally sourced, but I spent $10 on produce, and all of that was organic. And I'll be sharing that food with my housemate, so 2 of us eating that food. So now I'm done with my data entry, and I hit Submit. And that data entry comes up here. There aren't icons because there were so many different types of data that I entered. And it gives the total amount. And if I want to check the details of what I put in, I can click on this down arrow, and it expands my entry into all the things I input. And I noticed that we didn't drive 50 miles, we drove 60 miles. So I want to change that. How do I change that? I go down to this pencil icon here. That's to edit. And I go back to the data input page. I need to go to transportation. And what did I say? We went 60 miles. So I put 60 in there. That's the only change I'm making. So I hit submit again. Now it has updated that, and if I want to double check, I expand it. Carpool 60 miles. Okay, so it got that right. And it gives the amount of greenhouse gas emissions for each of these individual activities. So you can see that that it was the propane that is the dominant factor in causing the carbon footprint as large as it is. You can expand all the entries by clicking that, and then you see what each entry is all the way through that list. Let me close that, collapse that. You see about a dozen entries. If you want to go back to earlier entries, all the way down here on the bottom, you can click on the right arrow. It will give earlier entries and still earlier entries into November and even earlier entries. As I said, I use this calculator practically every day. So let me go back to the most recent. Now down here in the lower left, I can filter the list on the right to show just entries that related to home energy. So I uncheck transportation, I uncheck food and shopping. I hit, and the list already updates to just entries that include home energy, some amount of home energy. Let's say I only want to look at propane. I'll activate only propane. I'll go over here, I'll expand. I can see that 30 gallons of propane on that date, 35 gallons on that date, 30 gallons on that date. And you'll see that this is about every week I put my propane usage in. Before I forget, I want to delete this entry that we used for the illustration purposes, and I can delete any entry by hitting this trash can icon here. So because that's not real data for me, I want to delete that. Verify I want to delete it. It deletes it, and it's gone. Let me put all the filters back on so we have all of the data again. Now the final feature of this page is that if you just want to look at a certain window in time, you can do that as well. Say I want to look at my transportation use in October. So I would go to October 1. Here I would specify the end of October, October 31. Search on that. Now we have only October, and I want to look at only transportation in October. So each of these entries now contains transportation. So a lot of carpooling. There's some food in there too, but carpooling, quite a long trip there. So this is hopefully useful in showing you how to enter data. I want to show all again. How do you enter data? How you can make sure that the data are correct, how you can look at it again, review it, and if corrections need to be made, correct it. And as I didn't point it out, but I'm sure you can see now that if any of these entries was wrong, I could go back and edit that and it would update my report. One more thing I'll point out in this video is under the help, there is an input guide. So if you have questions about how to input accurate data in the home sector with energy, what we mean by kilowatt hours, how to get that information, how to read an electric meter. Natural gas is in hundreds of cubic feet. It discusses the units that we use for each of these data entry items. And a lot of detail there if it is useful. Also under help, if you want to know what conversion factors are being used to convert gallons of gasoline or gallons of propane to carbon, your carbon footprint, the pounds of carbon dioxide. Conversion factors under the help menu discusses in significant detail all the source documentation that was drawn upon to come up with the numerical conversion factors used by the calculator. It's all there. Most carbon footprint calculators you'll find on the web and anywhere will not give you all this detailed background information. For the Taming Bigfoot carbon footprint calculator, it's there and you can review it and learn even more and dig very, very much deeper into the numbers if you want. So it's all there for you to use, and we hope that you'll find it easy, that putting data in with a mobile app is as easy. I'll have a separate video that illustrates that. But for now, we hope that you'll be comfortable with that instruction and find it easy to enter reliable, useful data. Thank you.